Hello and welcome to this week's 5-Minute History Fix. So this week I want to talk to you about who was Henry Fitzroy, and I've recently done a blog about the 3 Tudor siblings, Mary, Elizabeth and Edward, but of course there was a 4th, Henry Fitzroy. And Henry was born to Henry VIII and his mistress Elizabeth Blount. His name literally means son of the king. So Fitzroy was a Norman term meaning son of the king, and Henry, obviously after Henry, his father. And Henry Fitzroy actually lived till the age of 17. He died the year before Edward VI was born. So at the time that he died, the 17 years up until the time he died, he was a recognised son, albeit illegitimate, of Henry VIII. And we know that Henry considered the fact that he only had daughters in Mary and Elizabeth to be effectively meaning he was childless. He had no male heir. And this is what we know was very important to Henry and society at the time. So there's a question as to, did Henry VIII have plans for Henry Fitzroy? Just before Henry Fitzroy's 6th birthday, he was made a Knight of the Garter, and he was given the title the first Duke of Richmond and Somerset. And that invoked 2 family titles. Richmond was the title of his grandfather Henry VII, and Somerset had been the title of his great grandfather through the Beaufort line, John, Duke of Somerset. So was this a first step, quite a large step actually, towards Henry legitimising Fitzroy? You have to remember as well that Henry VIII illegitimised, that's the right term, Mary and Elizabeth, because he was effectively saying, I was never married to either of their mothers and therefore they're not legitimate children. Even when he named them in succession, he didn't legitimise them, curiously. Which then begs the question, it's one of those massive history what-ifs. What if Henry Fitzroy had survived? We know, obviously, the year after Fitzroy died, Edward VI was born, and that Edward VI was obviously still alive when Henry VIII died, and so he was the legitimate heir. But what if Fitzroy was still around? Would he have been put in the line of succession by Henry in his will? Would Edward perhaps have thought about Fitzroy as a contender for his throne after he obviously was so poorly that he knew he would have to name an heir and successor? So obviously, as it turned out, nothing. We don't know. We don't really know what Henry's plans for Fitzroy could have been. We don't know what could have happened. It is one of those interesting what ifs.